Yeah, go, please.
Hi, good morning. We are Group 5. I'm Cecilia. We are doing a winning the race for talent in emerging markets. This is our brief summary. And I'm gonna a brief introduction a little about talent management. A conscious and deliberate approach attempts to attract, develop, and retain people with the aptitude and abilities to meet current and future organization needs, which also means that talent management involves individual and organization development in response to a changing and complex operating environment.
According to the article, there is 4 factors to attract the best talent. So the first one is the brand. So the brand attracts new talent and applicants for a job in a company. Indeed, a brand implies several promises. This can be a good salary, recognition, or the promise to evolve rapidly in the company. However, even if the brand can be an asset, the company must keep these promises and they must afterward reward them for as a truth, because they can go elsewhere and apply for another competing firm. So in the article we can read that we are particularly attuned to brand, for instance, because a desirable affiliation may lead to personal advancement, especially when the brand is associated with inspirational leadership. So inspirational leadership, an inspirational leaders are people that literally inspire those around them to achieve good things, like a model you want to follow. And increasingly, leaders need to engage and inspire others. This high-level workshop is a creative challenge for anyone committed to producing inspirational work. So we can say that the desirable company brand associated with the goals and personal advancement is particularly attractive. It's attractive when the brand challenge employees to develop themselves as leaders, and emerging countries are looking for talent who wants that companies that play an important role in their country, and a company that can grow rapidly. Now about the second thing is the purpose. So the purpose is the opportunity to be part of a game-changing business, a chance to participate in the company. The employee is not considered as a simple founder, as someone who can make the difference. And the talents are expecting to handle several missions in the company to be part of this one. And the same company which can have a major role in their mission or economy. And an organization productivity is not only measured with a new product or profit, but also in terms of employee engagement. So employees are said to be engaged when there is a positive attitude towards the work and also a high degree of commitment. So now this is the dimensions of employee management. So first we have what do I get? So what do I get is when the employee engagement depends upon what people get in exchange for performing the job. So this includes basic compensation, benefits, or organizational culture. These are basic elements that motivate them to join the organization and perform the given job that they have to do. Then we have what to give. So what to give is employees have to understand what exactly they are to do in their job. And it includes defining their job responsibilities and what tasks they have to do in the company. Then we have, do I belong to the organization? So the employee have to know what is their places in the company. And then finally we have how can I grow? So it's how can they grow in the company with their responsibilities and how they can help this one to grow in the market.
Okay. Thank you.
So the characteristic is the opportunity. So generally worldwide, the opportunity is a change in work, the strict assignments, continual training and development, and competitive pay. So it's obvious that every employee has the same goals, and whether where they come from or what is its culture. But in emerging countries, it's kind of different. As said in the article, in emerging countries, opportunity must imply an accelerated career track to a senior position. It means that in those countries, companies base the opportunity as a continuous learning process. So indeed, you can get good talents if they see this process, the continuous learning process, and if the company isn't based on promotion and learning. And it is also the mentoring, which is a key strategy because of the salary bonds, which makes the promotion rewarded and more frequently, and the job titles like junior or senior, which are able to distinguish each employee and the level where they are in the company.
So now I will talking about the last of 4 points in the article, culture. To attract talents, the company must to be authentic, because talent wants to trust in this company. So they must to banish falsehood and hypocrisy in favor of the authentic equation. What makes it personality? Its object, its purpose, its values and behavior. French study shows that 50% of German and 48% of the French don't trust in the discourse of company. So it's very important to be more honest with your communication. Second point is reward for reason of merit, because talent must to feel rewards for their work, and the top office must to be very reachable. The connection. The employee will want to feel a connection with the team. Also, the employee also want to be recognized for individual achievement. And the last point, culture of talent-centric. People like to know that it's functional to the success of the company. And we have the example of a small company. To attract talent, they give more than money and talent. They give responsibility, and it's a very good opportunity to work in a small company because you became more important.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about a talent market breakdown. And in this article, we can find talent gaps in these 4 countries. And the reason caused talent gap between supply and demand are all different. However, employers in great countries were the most likely to complain challenging in recruiting high-skilled labor. And according to this chart, great countries do have more need for professionals compared to developed countries. So, how to shorten the gap? Well, we find 7 responses to fix this issue. And the first one is to introduce strategic workforce planning. It enables public and private organizations to determine their talent risk and its urgency. But what can we do specifically? The first one is we can define job families based on required qualifications and do labor supply modeling. And the last one is to point out future demand for employees. The second response is to ease migration. Skilled migrants fill critical gaps that exist regardless of economic conditions. But the problem is, since the economic turndown has triggered more restrictive immigration policies across the globe, countries are reducing quotas, setting tougher entry requirements, and refusing to renew temporary work permits even for highly skilled workers. So, in order to fill future critical gaps, efforts to loosen restrictive migration have to begin now. And developing a migration-friendly culture and brand is important to foster migration of talent. On the other hand, we need to fix stringent like this, which has been a concern for developing countries. Since large numbers of skilled workers are moving to developing countries for temporary contracts, so what brings circularity here? For example, to reach out to the 25 million Indians living abroad, India has established a Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs. This service, including scholarship and educational program for disparate children, a No India program, and a community welfare fund. So at the end, what brings people home is opportunity and quality of life. And the next one is to develop talent trades, which means that developing people's individual skill sets. Actually, specialized skill sets require years to master, but it's essential to start people on these pathways 5 to 10 years, which is very long, before these skills will be required. And the next one is to encourage temporary mobility and virtual work. It's no longer necessary to move people to where the jobs are or move the jobs to where the people are. Flexible working hours and virtual office support a performance based on work culture in which results are more highly valued than physical in the office. But in the meantime, challenges appear like regulation and labor wars are not good enough for virtual work. The next one is to extend the talent pool by establish policies to tap into the skills sets for women or professionals and the disadvantaged and the immigrants. We should make good use of talent from other people that we don't really consider as human resource. And the last one is to increase employability. The fact is, employers are begging for qualified applicants, and governments are pushing the private sector to create jobs and provide vocational training. Then, how can we do to resolve this mismatch? Well, government, they do need to prioritize educational so that we can transform human resource.
Very good and excellent suggestion. Yeah, thank you.
So now I'm going to speak about the importance of the employees and company. So, like I already said, how to attract the employee for company. First, we have to know that in emerging markets, it's easy for an employee to move and change the job for a better one because the rate of employment is higher. So, different methods exist to attract people in the company. First, they can use promises and other promises like the brains, the opportunity, purpose. Also to use rewards and talk about the culture of the company. So we saw the example of 3 famous companies using 3 different methods. So the first company is CSB, China Bank. The second one is HCL Technology, a famous Indian company. And the last one is Lenovo, China company of electronics. So the CSB case, the main idea of this company is to talk about the culture. They have an important culture, which is to say that they support local communities. It's not about pay, it says I could go elsewhere and earn more small. That's why an employee say about his job in this company. That proves that he's not care about money but more about the value that he shares with the company, so he could be more invested in his job. The CSB is a meritocracy company. So what is a meritocracy? It's an elite of group of people whose progressing is based on ability and talent rather than class privilege or wealth. It's also a system in which such persons are rewarded and advanced. That shows that merit is defining the hierarchy of the company. So it will help people to invest more in the job. So what employees search in the company when they want to work for? First, like we saw in the CSV company, they want to share the same values. They also want a promise of an accelerated career so that they can develop themselves. They want opportunity for everyone and not just for a certain kind of people and employees. They want to be recognized so that they can feel better. They also want rewards, so that can be unofficial rewards or official rewards. I mean, it can just be a compliment, and it can also be an increase of wage or to be elected employee of the month. And they also want a custom career planning because each employee is unique. We'll develop it. So the second company is HCL. So the current president is Vinod Nair since 2005, and he decided to completely change the management inside the company. So he inverts the pyramid. I mean, this main idea is employee first and customer second. So as you can see the pyramid, customers are now in the low part. So he wants to focus on the employee development, the empowerment, the values-focused employee, and the ability to innovate and to feel better, to be more invested in the job, etc. And he did an innovative management system with 4 main points. The first one is the transparency. He creates a forum which each one can ask the question to anybody in the company, including himself. The second part is the smart service desk. So when a company has any kind of problem, you just open a ticket in the forum and then the problem is directly assigned to the service. So it's easy for the company to solve the problem. The third one is a 360 feedback. So anyone which is in relationship with the manager can evaluate him, and then the results can be seen by anybody. And the last one is a trust pay. For the salaries of the employees, 60% is fixed pay and 30% is variable pay, depending to the company performing. So there is strength and limits for this method. The main point is that it facilitates employee development. It also reduces the gap between manager and employee, which are more close. It also allows employees to grow professionally, but also personally in their own career. They make them feel good. They are also more recognized, and the system that we saw before can also solve rapidly the problem inside the company. But there are also limits. First, manager do not feel out of place relating to employees. They can feel a little disappointing because they can feel the same way. They can also feel uncomfortable if they obtain bad results, and everybody can solve that. And if there is a data processing problem, how can they manage it with the tickets on the forum? There is also an incapacity to respond to all the tickets. I mean, business area are receiving 2 more tickets on question, and it's impossible for him to respond to all of them. And there are some jobs for the trust pay who are not directly linked with the performance company, like engine searcher. So it's not really a good idea to do it for all the employees. And the last company is Lenovo. So the idea is that each employee is unique. They want to accelerate the development of opportunities. And what is really innovating is that they construct career map for each employee. So it's related to the objective of the employees, their experiences, expectation, education, but also the development that they need to reach their goals. So that's really innovative. And the limit of this company is that it can be difficult to find the right job for each employee because it can be lack of post of job. And the research of all these objective experiences can take too much time for the company. It can be a lack of time. So globally, what we can say is that each company can develop a specific method to attract them in the company. And employee is unique, important for the company. In the text is writing cream right to the top. That means that a good person or ID cannot go unappraised for long. You will necessarily saw it one time. Your potential is limited only by your dedication, effort, and ability to produce results. That's the company wants to say that they want to encourage employees in their job, in the possibility to develop themselves, to have a custom career, etc.
Thank you. Very good comment.
So I'm going more deeply talk about an example in China. Standard Chartered Bank. Standard Chartered Bank provide a raw talent superhighway to attract and retain good people by 2 ways: by managerial training and development, and by global network and leadership development. Standard Chartered Bank in China provide this component to attract people, which will introduced by the other group. So I'm just going more deeply. And Standard Chartered Bank, we analyze it. The new talent compact must be characterized by dual principles of promise made and promise kept. And promise made reflects the company's sense of purpose, its brand promise, and opportunities it provides for talent to grow and develop at a pace in keeping with the growth of the enterprise. And promise kept reflects the culture and climate that the company has created that will enable to keep its promise. And promise kept and promise made is more about providing a compelling sense of purpose in organization. It's more creating cultures by authenticity and connectivity and meritocracy. And we analyze SCB in two different perspectives. One perspective is from the Chinese employee. There are more resource sharing in satisfactory and support from the cross function are easy to gain. And the other is work-life balance is easy to obtain. And the other is good geography mobility, like we talked previously. With geographical mobility is like the company provide more chance for the employee to travel to work in different offices in China.
This the domestic or the international?
Yes, like that. And the perspective from SCB, there are particularly strong increase in the number of employees in many of our core strategic markets and bring emerging women leaders together and the building of our management skills. In 2007, SCB focused on increasing the proportion of women in senior positions, especially among the senior management in China and Hong Kong.
Thank you. Kim, right? Kim. No. Oh, Kim. Oh, you Kim, sorry.
So concerning the needs, so for the diversity of the culture, BRIC don't manage by the same way than our domestic talent. So they need to adapt and develop the strategy in order that it works in BRICS companies. But despite this, we have to, as said in the article, to establish a core of local talent. So we have to maintain local employees and the local image of the country, and it's also important to have a background of the emerging countries. And then this article said that it's not easy to embrace and leverage diversity. So I would say the companies need to know how to manage the diversity, and so you need to maintain local talent. And the English language don't have to be a criteria of talented people, but generally nowadays it's important to
English,
it's not And we can use Oxted model that shows that even in emerging countries, the coexistence, individualism, masculinity, uncertainty, avoidance, and long-term orientation is not the same, even between the emerging countries. So every company needs to take into account the values dimension of each culture and country. So global companies have to adapt their leadership according to the culture of each country, and each company also has its own strategy and way to manage something different than the country culture. And there isn't a one-size-fits-all processes. So there isn't one model for all companies and all the talent and how to manage the talent.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
So to conclude, we can say that there is no magic formula to attract talent. Each company with each country is very special, and each model is different. And the more important, I think, is money is not enough to attract talent, and we can give like advice to be original and differentiate with another company, and offer more than money, like responsibility or something like that, and propose a draft career development.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Thank you. Yeah, very good comment, analysis, and suggestion from you.